Why did Taehyung secretly follow Jungkook to Tokyo? What happened behind the camera to capture the emotional moment that left the ARMY the whole world speechless? Could this be a sign of something deeper? An unexpected truth finally caught on camera, and we weren't ready to cry this hard. Unexpected moment. Camera captures Taehyung and Jungkook's emotional interaction in Tokyo. The shocking moment Taehyung followed Jungkook to Tokyo alone melted the hearts of the ARMY. What's really going on between Taehyung and Jungkook? Why would a camera capture such an emotional and honest interaction when they shouldn't be on the same schedule? And why did that moment happen precisely in Tokyo, a city that once held important memories for both? Nobody expected. Not the staff. Not the manager. Not the ARMY. When Jungkook's name was announced at a closed-door event in Tokyo, all the focus was on him. There is no word on whether other BTS members will follow suit. But the camera of a fan site captured something that cannot be described in words. Behind the airport crowd, Taehyung's figure stood alone. No staff. No big escort. Just a dark hoodie and sunglasses. But his gestures couldn't hide his identity. And the question began to arise, why was he there? Is this a secret plan? Is this proof that their relationship is deeper than just colleagues? Or is there something they want to hide but instead open up because of their uncontrollable emotions? When Taehyung appears in the same place as Jungkook, in a small hidden cafe in the Shibuya area, the atmosphere becomes different. The camera accidentally recorded how the two were sitting next to each other, not saying much, but their bodies seemed to be talking more than could be explained. Jungkook looks down. Taehyung grasped the cup too tightly. And when Jungkook looked at her, just for a few seconds, something happened. Something that, even in their thousands of years of content, has never looked so honest. Jungkook's eyes turned red. I asked Jungkook hiding something? Did Taehyung come to Tokyo just because he was worried? Or because he wanted to answer something that hadn't been said yet? Some ARMY began to dig up old clues. Jungkook tweeted 2 days earlier, "Sometimes you just want to go far, but the heart always takes you to the same place." That sentence now feels like code. As if he knew something would catch up with him. Something, or someone that won't leave him alone amid the emptiness that quietly creeps into his life. I ask this a moment of peace. Or the end of something that has been hanging for too long without an answer. Witnesses said they saw Taehyung and Jungkook walking at night on the banks of the Sumida River. Not in flashy clothes. Not with a thick mask. They look like two people talking about their own world, separated from the hustle and bustle of Tokyo. And according to one source from a trusted Japanese fan site, Jungkook was seen crying. Not because it's sad, but like someone who can finally breathe again. What did Taehyung say then? Did he apologize? Or just say something that finally makes Jungkook feel at home? ARMY began flooding social media with theories. Some believe this has to do with an invisible conflict between the two after BTS' long hiatus. There are also speculations that the two briefly drifted apart, and Tokyo was the scene of their tacit reconciliation. But one thing is for sure, this moment is not an ordinary one. It's not just a meeting of two friends. It's a wound that heals slowly, and the camera just happens to be present at the right time. What if this moment was never recorded? What if Taehyung never followed Jungkook? Will we continue to believe that all is well? In a photo that has now gone viral, Taehyung's hand is seen gently touching Jungkook's shoulder. No words. No flashy expressions. But the depth of the movement, it's like someone saying, "I know you're hurting, and I'm here." What if Jungkook had kept the burden all this time alone? What if what kept him going wasn't a career, not the spotlight, but someone who secretly followed him all the way to Tokyo just to make sure he didn't walk alone? When Taehyung returned to Korea 2 days later, still without staff, still alone, the fans realized one thing. No uploads, no statement, no captions full of drama. But the whole world knows something has changed. Could this be the beginning of a new chapter between them? Or is this just a small moment in the middle of an unfinished storm? Question after question continues to haunt the screens of the ARMY. Is it about regret? Is it about the courage to admit a wound? Or is it about love, in its quietest and most healing form? And you who are reading this now, what would you do if you were Taehyung? Will you go with someone who may not know you're coming, just because your heart can't stay still? ARMY cry not because sad. But as they know, true love doesn't always come with hugs or big words. Sometimes, it comes in the form of silent footsteps towards someone who hasn't even asked, but is always waiting. And in silence, we all understand. Tokyo holds more than just the lights of the night. It holds feelings that can never be expressed until they are captured and change everything. Are you ready to know the continuation? And as word of this began to spread like wildfire among armies around the world, another bigger question began to arise. What exactly made Taehyung make such an important decision? In a world where their every move counts, their every word is twisted, and every moment can turn into wild speculation, why exactly did Taehyung step out of the shadows and chase Jungkook all the way to Tokyo? Is it because of unfinished love? Was this because of something that never got explained in short sentences during the live broadcast? Or maybe this is the silence they've been wanting to end. Among the glittering lights of Tokyo that shone through the night, the two looked like two stars that had separated orbit and met again in an odd but meaningful line of fate. ARMY began digging back into old archives, old lives, backstage moments, even bits and pieces of small interactions that used to be considered trivial. And now it all feels like a puzzle that is slowly beginning to form the big picture. One clip that is now viral is when Jungkook, a few months ago, talked about someone who makes him feel calm just by being in the same room. At that time, there was no name. But now, the public is asking, did he mean Taehyung? And when a Japanese fansite's camera catches Taehyung's eye as he gazes at Jungkook from a distance, the world stops. No one can fake a sense that is drawn so real just from the gaze. A sense that seems to say, I know you are hurt, and I will not leave you alone. The ARMY never asked for evidence. But when the evidence comes out as real and truthful as this, there's no stopping the tears. Twitter exploded with the hashtags #Taehyung in Tokyo, #Taehyung follows JK, and #They still care. Hundreds of thousands of comments flooded fansite accounts, most with just one sentence. Thank you, Taehyung. But what about Jungkook? Why was she crying that night? Have you been suffering from injuries that cannot be shared with anyone? Or is this meeting the final form of an inner war that he has been holding for too long on his own? According to some witnesses, after meeting that night at the Sumida River, Jungkook did not return to the hotel immediately. He sat on a park bench for nearly 2 hours, his hands covering his face. No staff around. There are no official cameras. Only 1 or 2 people are lucky enough, people who are now small historical witnesses of a very big moment at a Korean army man who happened to be on vacation in Tokyo told about the unforgettable experience through a thread that is now viral. He wrote, I saw Jungkook sitting by himself. I want to say hello, but I know he needs space. But what made me cry the most was when Taehyung came from behind. He's not talking. He just sat next to Jungkook. And both just sit down. No need for words. But the world seemed to be more peaceful in that moment. It could be that Tokyo is not just the setting of this meeting, but witness to something much bigger, a feeling that has been suppressed, ignored, maybe even hurt, but eventually refinds its own way. Of course, HYB has not yet issued an official statement. They chose silence. And maybe that's for the best. Because this moment is not about clarification. Not about the official schedule. It's about a human being, about 2 men who grew up together in the spotlight of the world, but still learned to be friends in silence. When the short video showing Jungkook hugging Taehyung in the back hallway of the Shibuya cafe surfaced, the internet was paralyzed. There was no doubt in his arms. No awkwardness. Only 2 hands finally found their place. Could this be a form of apology that never got around to being said? Or a silent promise to remain, even as the world continues to change? And even more surprising, that night, Taehyung wrote a short sentence on his personal account. Sometimes you have to go far, just to know who you're looking for will always be there. This sentence seems to be replying to Jungkook's previous statement. 2 sentences. 2 hearts. The 2 directions eventually converge at one point. But is this a sign that they will again appear together in public? Or is it just the last moment before the 2 of them return to their respective busyness? The ARMY can never guess. But they believe in one thing. There are emotions that cannot be hidden when they are recorded so real. And this time, no one can deny how deep the bond is between Taehyung and Jungkook. Some speculation began to emerge. Some say that this meeting is the beginning of a secret duet project that is being prepared. Others believe that this is part of a personal documentary about the deepest side of. You might think it's all been revealed, but unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately for all of us, the story of that night in Tokyo didn't end in a warm embrace and a tearful glare. Because it turns out there is one small detail that escapes many people. A note. The little paper Jungkook left on the table of the Shibuya cafe just before he and Taehyung got out of there. The note was never taken. And the cafe staff, who initially had no idea who the two men sitting in the corner with hoodies covering their faces were, only realized it after a crowd of fans started pouring into the venue. They found a small piece of paper, folded 3 times, and placed it under an untouched coffee cup. What's in it? Just 4 sentences, but enough to make the world collapse. I've kept everything alone for too long. I'm sorry if I seem distant, but I'm just scared. You are the only one who can make me feel at home. Thank you for coming, even without me asking. You read it? Repeat.
Slow down.
Feel how each of his words infiltrates into the silent space of our hearts, because that's what happens to all the army who read the captured image of the paper, which went viral in just a matter of minutes. N.O. signature. But not needed. That sentence talk like Jungkook. And everyone knows there are no more hurtful words than sorry if I seem distant, because that's how a lot of fans have been feeling the last few months. Remember when Jungkook deleted all his Instagram posts? As he said that he wants to rearrange everything from scratch? As he seemed to avoid too much public involvement? Now it all feels like part of one big puzzle that is finally starting to find its pieces. And Taehyung? He didn't leave a note. But that night, before going to the airport, he had a short talk with the cafe staff who had kept their privacy very well. With a faint smile, he said, "If that person comes here again by himself, please let him know that I won't go too far again." A simple statement, but electrifying. And when the staff handed it out to one of the soldiers at Haneda Airport, the information spread like wildfire across a dry field. I won't go too far anymore. Is this Taehyung's new promise? Or the recognition that all this time, he was too far away, physically as well as emotionally? Does this mean that the breakup that once took place between them really left deeper wounds than we thought? ARMY began to dig deeper. Footage from a few months ago shows Taehyung in a quiet V-Live saying things like, "Sometimes the people you care about the most are the ones you avoid the most, because you know how big it can be when things change." At that time, the statement was perceived only as a general reflection. But now, the world rereads it in a very different context. Even a well-known magazine editor who worked with BTS during the shoot admitted that, of all the pairs of members, only Taehyung and Jungkook carry a different energy, sometimes too comfortable, sometimes too tense, as if something is incomplete. And it all exploded in one night. A night that may have been ordinary at first, but turned into an indirect confession between two hearts that had chosen silence. But wait. This story is not finished. According to the latest information circulating in the internal circles of the Korean entertainment industry, HYB actually already knows Taehyung's planned departure to Tokyo. But they didn't stop him. A surprising decision, given how tight his schedule and scrutiny of his artists is. Taehyung is left free to follow what he feels is right. Why? The source, who did not want to be named, said, "Sometimes, even management knows that what an artist needs is not an agenda, but healing." This has been a topic of discussion within the label since last week, when Jungkook showed signs of a deep emotional slump, with some personal schedules being quietly cancelled. It was even reported that Jungkook made a request not to attend certain events due to personal circumstances. Now, it's all starting to get answered. Because when a person is so broken, only one person can bring him back. And that person, it turns out, is Taehyung. Now, the public began to wait. Waiting for whether they will appear together at the upcoming event. Wait whether there will be a new song, a collaboration project, or simply a live broadcast that shows that both. All right, but for a true ARMY, they don't ask for much. Only one thing they expect. That Taehyung and Jungkook are no longer distant from each other. And when we all closed the story that night, one fact still hung in the air like an unanswered question. Does love, in any form, need to be announced or felt enough? Because that night in Tokyo, we didn't see